Punny and football agent Ryan Badu. Ryan, let's talk Manchester City's incredible summer spending. Pep's now taking it to £100 million. Is this money well spent in your eyes?
Do you know what? I believe he has spent the money quite well. It's an incomplete jigsaw at the moment, so we have to go and answer that question on the 31st of August or 1st of September, whenever the transfer window concludes. But he has added underneath the squad, so someone like Sane can push David Silva. If you're thinking of Jesus coming in maybe in January, he's a project more for next year, but you've got signings like Ilkay Gundogan to challenge with Fernandinho and Fabian Delph, and Nolito to add to the attack. So I believe that what Sané done last season, coupled with what Guardiola done with someone like Kingsley Coman, it could be a good marriage, and that could be a very, very important signing for them.
And Ryan, which current Man City players should be worried about their future, considering these new arrivals?
Possibly someone like Eliaquim Mangala.
Yes.
Because Pep does like to play from the back, and Mangala's been quite cumbersome, quite clumsy, quite error-prone in his first seasons in Manchester City. So I believe that someone like Kolarov, he may be the left-sided centre-back. So someone like Mangala, how much of a future he'll have, I'm not sure. Whereas he has pushed out players that are studious, players that are old, but they do work hard and they do work on the game, like Eric Abidal, like Jerome Boateng, can go on to the next level. So someone like Kompany, injury-free, may improve this season. And that's quite a surprising thing to say for a 30-year-old. But I believe that some of the defensive players, even Joe Hart, for instance, who's not the best on the ball, and he proved and showed a lot of his weak links in the Euros.
Some would say he's not the best with his hands if you saw him in the Euros.
Joe Hart's a top quality goalkeeper, but the way that Pep Guardiola likes to play, I think that he would need someone more like a Marc-Andre Ter Stegen or Emmanuel Neuer, who is going to make better decisions when he comes off the line, because he does play high, so that leaves a space between the goalkeeper and the defenders, and who also is good playing with the ball, because he does like to keep possession, and when they have it in the final third, they will play from the back, and I don't see that as a strength of Joe Hart, to be honest.
And Ernest, Ryan, how much of a culture shock will it be for Guardiola, where he's come from La Liga, then Bundesliga, to the high-flying, furious pace of the Premier League?
Guardiola, he made this decision a year ago to come to Manchester City. He's chosen the challenge. He knows what he's coming to. He's played against English teams before, and he wants to prove his style works in England. So I don't think it's going to be a culture shock for him. However, he is going to need that adaptation period, and ultimately the commodity that no manager has in England, time. He's going to need time to actually implement his system for the players to understand what he needs to do. His saving grace is that a lot of other big title challenging teams are in transition, so he does have a chance to actually hit the ground running, but of course it's going to take time, and if he's given that, and if he's given the resources which he seems to be getting, I think he can be very, very successful in the Premier League.
Manager, he's coming to the Premier League. Antonio Conte with Chelsea. How do you see the way he's shaping up his team ahead of the new season?
Fantastic signing in Kante. He's bought one of the most efficient defensive midfielders in the league. He's going to be an absolute miss for Leicester City, and that's exactly what Chelsea needed. They needed to replace Makelele, Essie, and that type of character in midfield. Again, another good signing in Batshuayi, because Diego Costa has proven that he has the capacity to win the league. As a striker, you can win the league playing Diego Costa up front, as long as he's in the right headspace. And underneath him, that's where they lacked last season. They tried to bring in Pato. They've got the young kid who's not quite ready yet, Traore. So I believe that Batshuayi is another one. He has scored goals over the last 1.5 seasons for Marseille, and that could be another good signing. Conte's a very, very intelligent manager, as he showed at the Euros. Chelsea have a lot of good resources, but again, it is going to take him a certain amount of time to implement his system, his philosophy onto that Chelsea team. However, he does have possibly the best player in the league, I believe, in Hazard.